Hey everybody, welcome back to Sirstrat Plays. This is Sirstrat, and we are jumping into a Storybook Brawl battle. We are on Fallen Angel here, and we have an interesting shop to start. If you take a look at this, obviously you want to maximize the hero power, but Baby Root is not how you want to start. So we go ahead and take Cindy here, and then the question is, are we going to lock for that Genie's Wish? And I think usually the answer to that is yes. We have one good unit in there, which means we'll be able to start moving towards our hero power. And the power of being able to get this early Cindy off is pretty good. We'll also be able to use that one extra gold there. So we tie the Merlin there. Makes sense. So we go ahead and pop Genie's Wish, and we do that first because sometimes you get this. So we get a shrink spell here, which is perfect. We're able to utilize that and end up buying 2 units. We do not want to lock for that bossy. That is not something we are interested in. But we get a real easy win there against the Fates, and that's just a strong start. Blessed with a free roll here, which means we're going to get to go with Cindy again. And the question here is, do you want the 2 evil units, or do you want to grab the 2 good units, which are less powerful but will get you halfway to your Fallen Angel? You'll get the health bonus if you take the unicorn and the happy little tree. But those are weaker units. It's not really the route we want to go. I spent some time thinking about this, but eventually we're going to take the Minotaur and the Goat here. It's just the better way to go. And yes, it means we don't get either side of the hero power this turn, but we're pretty strong already. And so we don't mind doing this and taking a weight on the hero power getting fully kicked in here. So alright, we tie this one against a Zell. It's in pretty good shape there. So, alright, and here we go. We get to do the good half of it this time, and we get to do it in a pretty good way. We're going to sell that bossy back. We're not at all interested in that bossy. We get the Sleeping Beauty, which gives us both of the frog flips, and then we also have I can't remember the name of the spell off the top of my head right now. We have a spell in hand to get Sleeping Beauty woken up, so that's perfect. We're going to go ahead and lock for this, which is going to give us the second Lonely Prince, and then also get us the full side of our Fallen Angel powers by grabbing that Shadow Assassin there. So pretty good spot for us right now. We're looking pretty strong here. And usually this is the case with Fallen Angel, right? If you get the kind of start that is, you get both sides of the hero power pretty soon. And here we've got it at 3.0, right? And that's not unusual. Or we'll have it at 3.1. And that's not unusual. And if you get that, it's pretty strong. And it gives you a really good chance to make it through the mid game at a very high health total. You're going to see here that we're going to get to 5-0 really strong, and it's just a great way to start a game. We're up against Loki here. Now Loki can be very high roll in certain situations. This Loki is medium strong, probably stronger than a big chunk of the lobby, but not stronger than us at full Fallen Angel hero power here. So alright, we've got some choices here. I love Black Cat. I'm not usually as big a Black Cat fan in Fallen Angel. It's not that you can't play it, but you're really not trying to Queen of Hearts on Fallen Angel. It's just not the strongest play. Obviously, you're going to be split up on your board. So I don't tend to take Black Cat as often with this hero. Here we're going to go ahead and grab the Spellweaver in place of our Cindy, and that gives us a pretty good back row here. We're already strong. This back row is pretty good. We lock for the second Blind Mice there. That's not something I would always do, but I'm in a strong enough position here that I feel like I can and can do it without too much risk of wasting gold or wasting hit points trying to chase down mice. So we go ahead and lock. We've got most of the shop open there anyway, so we're able to grab that second mouse here. And then this Sporko is a pretty easy call. You don't mind. It's much easier to give up a Minotaur when you're playing Fallen Angel. It's really only buffing 3 other things. And And so you feel pretty good about that. Now, the consideration I'm giving here, first of all, I should have shrank spell here. I took 2 units out of this already. I definitely should hit that shrink spell. That is a misplay. And we're definitely considering taking another unit out of here. So the missing on the shrink was absolutely not the right play. So, and you're going to make some mistakes here and there, right? Like you get excited about something. In that case, that is a common mistake I think you see people make, where I've locked the shop for something, right? So the shop rolls, and then I kind of just gut instinct take it, and then don't stop to look at what I've got there first, other than what I locked for. So try not to make that mistake when you're playing. I don't do it all the time, but every once in a while I will be guilty of being a little quick on the trigger there and pulling something without stopping and looking and seeing what else I should be doing first. So, but again, we're continuing to be very strong here. You can see we roll right through our opponent there. We go ahead and pick up this extra mummy. We certainly wouldn't mind grabbing a treasure there, and we're strong enough to kind of pair game here a little bit. Luckily, we get paid off the minute we do it. So, and we're going to take Telltale Quiver here. Now, Telltale Quiver is not a treasure that I pick often. You hear a lot of really good players talk about it being a do-nothing treasure that's just not that strong. I generally agree, but if you look at the back row that I've got here right now, that is my strength, right? Now, the tripled up mummy is nice, but the strength of my board is these 3 solid back row units. So we want to really play on that, and Telltale Quiver is a great way to do that right now and add a really good amount of strength to the board. So right now we've got several directions we could go. If you look at this board, we've got a couple of royals there, and we've already got a court wizard. We've got 3 mages sitting across that back row, so that is absolutely a consideration in play. So you've got several different ways you could go here, and you want to stay open, right? Like one of the best things about Fallen Angel is that you can get some early strength without really committing to a direction, and then you can kind of play into, okay, what comes to me, because you're almost always going to get to the mid game strong, right? Or through the mid game strong. So. All right, no reason to Masquerade Ball here. That's a weak shop. Certainly nothing we're interested in there. We're not looking for a 2 treasure here, so we're certainly not taking the Minotaurs. We're really just looking to upgrade. Like, we'd love to upgrade those frogs if we could find something that was significantly better. We're not going to waste, because we're strong, we're not going to waste gold on something that's not a serious upgrade. But we would certainly consider a good upgrade if we found something solid to put in there. Now the question here is, are we going to sell out for that Spellweaver? And I think the answer is yes. We don't really need that blind mice chase anymore. We didn't really need it to begin with. It was just something that we could do. But there's no reason to waste gold here. Let's just sell out, get that second Spellweaver, and move on to the fight. So this is not a particularly strong Fates board here. You can see they only have 4 units. Not exactly sure how they got to that state. They're 4 strong units, right? Like they're not in bad shape, but yeah, it's not. Or their units are strong, but it's not exactly what you're looking for there. So, all right, now some questions here. Are we going to take this court wizard? Certainly at this point you could. You've got a court wizard and a King Arthur there. You could start trying to pair up royals and move that direction. I don't think that's really what I want to do now. Our royals are not strong. And so I just don't see where buying into Arthur here makes sense. However, Court Wizard is a mage, and a solid mage, and a path to Forking Rod, which you will see we get here when we pull that. So that's exactly what we're hoping for when you take it, whether it's the Sporko or the mage. You're looking for Forking Rod there. And that's really going to set us off into thinking seriously, hey, mages is the way we want to go here. You've got solid mages across the back row. You've got 1 upgraded. You've got 2 of each of the other 2. So you're very close to being able to upgrade those. And that's just the way you kind of want to go now. Now, you're not locked into that. You could certainly continue to go royals here at some point, a good boy specifically. But it's certainly a consideration. And look at that fireball. That is the most beautiful fireball ever. Takes out both of my opponent's lightning dragons there, and puts us in a situation where our whole back row continues to survive. against double lightning dragons. So certainly can't argue with the way that spell played out for us there. Just the rich getting richer on that one. So, all right, here we get the chance to get the Spellweaver, and boom, Crystal Ball. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and replace that Fairy Tale. I like Fairy Tale a lot. It's a fine treasure. Early, not so good mid-game. You don't mind at all replacing it here. And I think this buy was not great. This is a 5.1 Feasting Dragon. That's probably not where we wanted to be spending our gold. We'd been looking for a way to upgrade some of that front line, and I think I just took the first thing that came there. I'm not sold on that at all. And I think you'll see here we pretty quickly ditched this Feasting Dragon. It does not stay on our board very long. So we go ahead and TLK that Mummy and get a upgraded Medusa, which is nice. Not really what we're going for, but it's certainly a strong play and is gonna get you some brawl wins here periodically. So that thing is not only good at getting, its initial thing, but it's also strong enough that it might get its second hit sometimes. So, all right, I can't remember. I think this is the first fight that we lose here. This Charon is pretty good, pretty strong, and the RNG goes perfect for him. I don't kill any of this stuff, even though I had a chance to kill one of those things. So we lose our first fight there, and it's a pretty hefty loss. We lose 12, but luckily for us, right after our first loss on 5-2, we end up against the Ghost, which gives us a chance to kind of reconfigure our board here a little bit and not have to sweat it after taking a pretty hefty point loss there. So we consider Beauty's influencing one of these. The Spellweaver doesn't make any sense, and I know I don't end up doing that. As a matter of fact, we end up skipping it. I probably would have been fine with Beauty's influencing the Sporko there, but I'm still trying to upgrade the front of this board, and I think I just decided I just didn't want to spend gold on that. So sure enough, we leave that Feasting Dragon in for one run and then decide to get out of it. We found an Aeon, and we are definitely into going mages. So now we're going to go ahead and sell that Feasting Dragon upgrade here. This is just a one-turn play. We're not interested at all in that treasure, and we're honestly not interested in that frog being on our board. But what we are interested in is getting as strong as we can for this fight. Just make sure that we don't dump any health to the Ghost. And take advantage of what we've got here. So we go ahead and do that, make some moves there. We didn't get our positioning exactly right, but we're not exactly worried about that against the Ghost. The most important thing there is that the Aeon slayed. So we do not have Hat, right? But a lot of times you will find, and I think we all talk about Hat Ball all the time, but Hat Ball, you usually want to ditch Hat a little bit later anyway, right? Or quite often end up ditching Hat a little bit later. And if you've got an Aeon that is reliably slaying, Hat is not necessary. So you're going to see over the next couple of turns here, you're going to see me really working on trying to build up this Aeon a little bit and try to make sure that it's strong enough that it will be able to slay. And working with positioning, trying to make sure that I get myself in a position where it's going to slay, because that can alleviate not having Hat. And as a matter of fact, can even be better than Hat in a lot of ways, because if you get that Aeon upgraded, all of a sudden you are seriously reducing the cost of spells. And sometimes get multiple slays even and stuff like that. I've had situations where I've had like virtually every spell I see is free when you get a really good Aeon going. So we run our spells out. We do some positioning here. We're trying to decide where to put this. I think the theory here is that the Aeon might be strong enough to live through a hit. And so if we put it second, then either the Medusa or the ranged get that first hit, which you certainly like the idea of. And there definitely the Medusa gets the hit and the Aeon still slays. So that's perfect. That's exactly what we're looking for there. And this ends up not playing out great for us here. If we hit the ranged, we tie, but we just missed that. But it's a small loss there. We're not too worried about that. We got the slay, which is exactly what we're looking for so that we can continue to build this Aeon here. So And at this point, there we go. That's the Scion that we were looking for. So our board we finally got that last piece off the board that we just really didn't want there. Now this Medusa, we can play with it through the end, or we can get rid of it. We're not married to the Medusa there. But that frog had to go, right? Like it's past 6.0, and then having an upgraded frog is not what you're looking to do. So we're checking to see who we're playing against and what their board is like. It's a Zell. Obviously at 6.0, Zell can be very strong, so you worry a little bit about that. To my mind, I still think Zell is the best hero in the game. The economy that you get past 4.0 is just so good that it's hard to argue with it. But this Zell board is strong, but not crazy strong, right? And they've got the upgraded Scion there, which is obviously pretty good, but the rest of their board is not amazing. It's okay. They do have several of our Aeons, which we're not super happy with, but we have this Medusa, and we have some pretty good ranged, and we're able to deal with them effectively here. So we do like putting them out, because that's a board that could get very strong with Zell Econ. So super happy to get them out of there. Alright, we're going to go ahead and grab this Aeon. Again, we are playing mages, and Aeon is so key in mages. It just makes the economy work, and then makes your crystal ball so much better. So rolling a little bit here, hoping to find something. As I recall, I don't think we find anything amazing on this turn. We run some spells, some freebies. I think we get it, and we might even get another coin here, I think. Or no, is this where we Beauty's Influence? Yeah. So you want to try to get... Oh, we do get a coin too. That's right. So you want to try to get your ranged units out of lightning bolt range first. Then once you do that, you'd love to get them out of smite range too. So we look at that Sporko there, but there's no reason to update that at this point. We don't need we have Forking Rod. We're not looking for another 4. But we are going to take that, and then we are going to steal that Bossy out for the Econ, and then lock that Aeon, because we definitively want that Aeon upgrade. A little bit scary here, upgraded Yorm, but we are able to deal with it because we are pretty strong, and we've got some ranged, and that puts us in a pretty good spot here. So take the pants out, and it is down to just us and the Merlin. They had a Pandora's box too. Very sad. Hat ball with a box. Very sad for them. Not really sad for them at all, but sad. So, all right, we go ahead and we take a look at these, and we go ahead and decide to grab Eve. I don't remember what we grab here. I think we grab Evil Eye. Yeah, I thought that made the most sense. I kept seeing myself go and look at that Ambrosia. I was like, I'm pretty sure we got Evil Eye here. Ambrosia, we're just not really doing anything that Ambrosia is going to be top notch for. We want those ranged units in the back, so we're not moving the Storm King to the Ambrosia slot. Our Aeon is already upgraded, so that's fine, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So we'll just take the stats from the Evil Eye and call it good there. So. All right, we start pushing that other Sporko, trying to get that out of range. You can see we skip over the health potion there for just a minute to make sure that we get that second Sporko out of lightning bolt range. I do believe we get smited here pretty soon. Maybe it's the next game. So, all right, they have a fireball. Doesn't do a whole heck of a lot. Our Medusa does not kill anything, unfortunately. But this Scion is able to trade a couple times, and we do get an Aeon Slay here too, and that just puts us in a pretty good spot. Now it's just us against their Echo, and that the Aeon is strong enough that it allows us to hit a ranged on the Echo and be good. So we'll look at their board comp a little bit. I think we vaguely think about the Baba Yaga for just a minute, and then decide because we're playing that Aeon back row, and I think that's the right play. There's just no point in the Baba. You could certainly make the argument that the Baba should come in, and that the Aeon should go to 1 with Baba behind it. But that Medusa's doing some work for us, especially against dwarves. I really like Medusa as a way to deal with dwarves effectively. Now we do, because the Aeon's big enough to kill something on its own, we move the Medusa to the back because it's more likely to be able to get to do the Medusa thing there. So sometimes you start casting spells with Crystal Ball and you don't pay necessarily attention. I'm not entirely sure why we gave our Medusa plus 10 there. Are building our Medusa up a little bit. Really, yeah, that should probably be going to the ranged units here. But at this point, we're very strong, and it's going to be hard for dwarves to keep up with this. Like the only real concern at this point is, are they able to upgrade their Lordy and their Echo, right? Like that's the only way they're competing here. And they do have the upgraded Lordy there, but it's still just not enough. They do get us with a smite, but you can see they're just not big enough, and we've got tons of ranged, which is always going to be a problem for dwarves. Amy is just not big enough to help fight the range wars. And we pretty easily put them away here. So, all right, gang. Well, that is Fallen Angel Mages, a first place there. Don't sleep on Fallen Angel. I think Fallen Angel is a hero, especially for newer players. A lot of times gets overlooked. You hear people talk about how strong Waddle is, about how strong Zell is, Piper, etc. I think sometimes Fallen Angel is a little bit overlooked. So don't sleep on that. It is a very strong hero, can do some very strong things. Obviously, we do mages here, but it's really pretty adaptable, can move into a lot of different comps, and is really just a solid hero. So hope you all enjoyed that. We will talk to you all soon. Have a great one. Bye now.